Welcome back to the Social Cycle podcast, where we look at things in the that where we look at things that impacts the Black community from a sociological and psychological lens. Today, we're going to be talking about sex, and I'm going to try to minimize it because it could be a broad topic. So I have a layout that I want to follow. It's a different one, so like bear with me as I go. But I'm Boonie, and I'm here with Damien, Brent, and Vanjalyn. How y'all doing today?
Hey, how you doing? What's good?
Hello.
I'm doing
Happy New
fine.
Year. Happy New Year.
Also, my energy is low, so yeah, and
Why?
I'm a little high, so I might be stumbling a little bit.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, man. I'm trying to get right.
Because I'll be getting super. We were just talking about the end of the year. I've been getting super quiet when I noticed during when it gets time to end the year and going to a new year. I just get super quiet, and when I
Mm,
if I'm being for real, like the whole winter, that's how I am. I don't really want to
mhm.
talk. I don't really got nothing, but we gonna keep doing this though. That don't mean I'm gonna stop.
I think maybe I'm like that too now that you say that.
Like I get super reflective and I'm just quiet. I don't really, want to have conversations. Like I feel like it goes with nature.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I said earlier, we're going to talk about sex today, and we're going to discuss it in a way where we won't be all over the place. So, what I wanted to focus on was the way that we were raised, our upbringing, and how it affects our sex lives, the way we perceive it, the way that we go about doing it, all of those things, the way that we experience sex, period. I kind of wanted to focus on that because I feel like that's something that we don't really talk about ever, like across the communities, cultures, whatever. I don't think I've ever heard anybody have this conversation. But I really and truly feel like our upbringing, the things that we were taught by our parents, the things that we were exposed to, specifically the way that we were introduced to sex, I think it affects the way that we experience it, the way that we perceive it. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. And I want to go into the first segment, which is the What's Your Theory segment. And I want to jump right in the first segment with our first question. How were you first introduced to sex? And I want to start with Damien first.
My God, how was I introduced to sex? Oh my goodness. Whew. Hell, this is funny because it's like as a young boy, you hear about it, you start to hear about it. I'm trying to think of what age you at, because you could have some friends that real mannish, you know what I'm saying? You can have some buddies that always, you know, and then
Yeah,
you might have somebody in the household, you might find a magazine under a bed, you know,
that's true.
you might be at a sleepover and somebody put a porno tape on. What age you at then? I just can't think of these ages.
You
But
don't have to
all of
give
these
us a
days,
specific age, but kind of like, what do you remember being like the first thing you saw about sex?
first thing I saw, like I said, I probably, ooh, that's a good question, man. That's a hell of a question. But I gotta say, probably like I said, finding a magazine under a bed or something like that. Finding my stepdaddy stash of magazines, penthouse,
That stepdaddy thing,
house, yeah, them penthouse
them
magazines.
stepdaddies.
I used to go get home from school every day and flip through them things and just read. I literally used to read them, read about the girls, all that,
Not read them.
and then
Okay.
you take, and then other things happen. Like I said, you find little porno tapes and stuff like that. You might put them in and watch them. It's like, oh. So that was my introduction. More stuff like that. So by the
Gotcha.
time your friends come talking about it and saying stuff, I act like I don't know, but I already know what's going on. I already know what to do. I'm just waiting on my opportunities to do it. So when they saying that they doing it, that's what make you want to kind of step on the gas. Like, okay, like,
Yeah, I got you. Dan, what about you?
I really don't know. It was kind of like one of those things I just already knew. Like as far as I can remember, like from the age of 4, it was just something I knew. I don't remember it being introduced to me, or
Wow.
it was just something I knew. Like I just
So
knew
the soulmate. Okay.
it.
Wow.
Brent, what
Now,
about
as
you?
far as
Oh,
um my earliest memory of seeing something like that was like TV. Like, you know how you watch the TV with your parents and like some of them scenes come on and they try to distract
Oh
you, and it's like
yeah.
I already know what's going on, but I'm gonna pretend that
Go in
you're
the room.
distracting me. Yeah, it was kind of like that, but that's the earliest memory of something I saw. But as far as being introduced to it, it was something. It was almost like something I just already knew.
got you. What about you, Brent?
Shit, HBO, Chronicles of a Pimp. What it was? That Pimp Chronicles shit. I think I think it was what? Pimp Chronicles or Pimp Subholes. Man, there was some documentary on HBO.
HBO.
I was riding in the car with my daddy. I said, "Daddy, what's a pimp?" And my dad said, "What you know about a pimp?" And I was like, I said, "Daddy, I saw it on HBO." He said, "What you saw on HBO?" And I said, "Yeah, Daddy, it came on late when you and Mama been sleeping." And then next thing I know, he put the damn parental block on the damn TV.
Hell yeah, you snitch on yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Hey, that's
yeah.
that. I just damn sure used to love that HBO. I ain't gonna tell
What?
y'all what
And
all
what
the
they
shows
used
I
to
used to
call
watch.
Cinemax after dark, Skinemax.
What? Look, Cinemax. What? Hey,
BET
Cinemax been
After
the
Dark,
shit.
VT after dark. Yeah, beat uncut.
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 Oh
Uncut.
man.
I remember.
Oh.
I remember the first video I saw on BET Uncut. It been I ain't got no panties on. Ain't got no panties on.
Nelly. That who is that?
I don't know the name of the group.
I'm trying the first I
Mine was Tip Drill.
All I can
yep,
think of
mine
is Tip
too. Tip
Drill. That's
drill.
all I can think of.
That's the
That's.
first
I mean, I
uncut.
know I saw other ones, but all I can think of was Tip
Bro,
Drill.
but do
That's the
y'all
only thing in
remember
my
when they
head.
used to have like these conversations and it was between like the rappers and like the influential black people, like the civil rights black people, and they used to get on this show and talk about stuff, and they gave Nelly hell
Hell,
for that
Hell,
tip drill
they
yeah.
gave,
video.
it was the
He
women.
took
It
the
was the
car.
women. It was the
Like
women
they
at
was so
Spelman.
mad at him.
It was the girls and stuff that at Spelman. And one of the rappers even said, like, okay, so you mean to tell me y'all watched the whole damn video, and then when he slid the credit card through the girl ass, now y'all just that was too much.
Exactly.
It was so, like
The
it was
way he
it was hypocritical.
the way
Right.
he was trying to defend himself, like she let me do it. Like, what you mean? I got
Everybody in
permission.
that video was
She let
all
me
grown.
do it. I
Nelly,
remember that junk. They should have kept that. Honestly, they should have kept that show. Whatever
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of it
Yeah.
was, but I
nah,
Uncut.
remember that junk.
but Booney,
BT Uncut.
that conversation that you're talking about, that happened after Don Imus had called the Rutgers
Oh
women's
yeah.
basketball team nappy headed hoes. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
So they started
I
having this
remember.
damn national talk about
Yeah,
rap and shit like that.
they
And then
should have kept it.
but let's be honest though, like those were grown women.
Yeah,
Those
man,
were
not even
grown,
just that, but like I'm just saying, just to have those conversations, regardless of whether you agree or not. I feel like having a platform just to talk about stuff like that, it would have been it would have been a good thing, I feel.
yeah, but then I got introduced to sex, through HBO, and then Zane,
Oh yeah,
the
that was
prodigal. I messed around, and I don't know how that book got mixed in with the library books or whatever at the elementary school, but I just so happened just to take one
I
of the
found one at the library too.
Yeah,
Um
y'all used to run them books out.
oh, you remember when I used to write them and then I used to pass them around school? I used to write my own little like short stories about sex and stuff, and I used to pass it around school. Never had sex a day in my life. Nobody knew.
But then as I got older, well, not older, my mom pretty much was a spokesperson for like the sex part. It made my dad uncomfortable. My dad, my mom was just basically like, be protective of your private area, around people, stuff like that. don't get nobody pregnant and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just protect yourself. Just protect yourself. So my mom,
We did have those. We were introduced to them sex ed classes where you had to get parental consent.
Yeah, we had sex ed too.
Yeah, you had to get your mama to sign off on it.
My mama,
hey, we were laughing though.
Mama never did that, John.
Your mama ain't sign off on it.
Oh no, my mama gave me all I needed to know. She ain't needed nobody to teach me that for her.
I don't think my mama signed off on that shit either. Now that I think about it,
I ain't never went to the class, but I remember the group of people that used to go to sex ed, and then it was somebody that I liked in that group, and then he started asking me questions about my body, and I didn't know. I hated that I didn't know it because I felt like, dang, this was my time to shine, and I dropped the ball. Like I don't know. Nothing. And I went home and started asking my mama questions, and like from there, that's how she started like talking to me about it more. But I was first introduced to sex, like Van said, I just feel like it kind of just always was in me. I just kind of knew. I don't remember ever really seeing it, but I remember when I was like 3 or 4 years old and I had my first kiss at that age. Like it was with a girl, of course.
I don't remember none of that.
Yeah, shit. I remember. I have memories from when I was 2. So like, I remember I was like, cause we were still staying in the project during that time. So I had this little white girlfriend or whatever. I used to go play with her, and I remember we was kissing, and her parents caught us kissing, and we got in trouble for it.
So think about that. That means even as children, like small kids, 2-3 year olds, we already got that notion to have that sexual preference.
I kind of just knew. I feel like I've always been in touch with my body in that type of way. Like I never really had to have somebody tell me what it was or whatever. Like I just kind of knew, like Van said, which is why I say not the soulmating, because we had similar experiences. But like from there, sex was always in my face. I was friends with people who were doing it. I used to play, also family members who were doing it, because let's be real, a lot of us are introduced to sex by other kids, and a lot of the times they touch you or something that they do to you that make you and I feel like having experiences like that, it made me more aware of it. Like on one end, I knew that it wasn't something that I was supposed to be doing as a kid, but at the same time, I didn't know a whole lot because I was a kid. And also adults don't think that kids are supposed to know about sex as early as we do, but we do. Like it's something that's in us. Like there's really no set age where you just like automatically, oh, I'm 12 now. I'm aware of my body. Like you aware a lot of the time.
I think it's just instinctive.
Yeah, it's natural. It's a natural thing.
The one thing, I know we probably get off topic with this, but I've always said this, and I might catch some flack for it, but it's true. I've always said that it's normal for children and stuff like that to be attracted to older people, but I've always said that it's not normal for older people to be attracted to young kids.
And that's I agree. The problem. I agree, because you don't really, when you're a kid, you don't really, it doesn't matter the age when it comes to your attraction, what you're attracted to, and especially when you start having those feelings sexually.
Yeah.
It's going to be certain things that naturally attract you to certain people, and sometimes it's an older person. But like you said, the problem comes in when that person entertains that attraction, or when they start doing stuff to you to see, like they looking at you a certain type of, I always felt like I had people like that just was looking at me like that, like sexually.
On another notion, like me being a young dude, I was kind of molded in that way with my uncles bringing around women. You know what I mean? Yeah. My uncles bringing around girls to the house with my, because they was my mama brother, so they had to watch us sometimes. And they bringing girls over to the house, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, I like Nancy. Oh, where Nancy at? So it would be stuff like that when I'm like, okay, that's what you supposed to be doing. Like, okay, stuff like that.
Right.
Even my other uncle, he'd have girls, every time he watch us, he have girls come over too. So I'm like, okay. I'll go around in the room after a little while, go around there. I'm just walking around there one time. I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
Me and my brother playing in the room. I go
seen
around
some
there
crazy stuff
like on
too.
some regular stuff, not even trying to spy on my uncle. I'm just walking around there on some regular stuff to ask him, can we get some juices? Or I'm just telling him, we got to go get some juices. He on the couch, got the girl on top of him.
Uncle
They
was getting
going
his
at it,
juice.
boy. I'm talking about
Your
kissing,
uncle was
kissing.
getting
I'm talking,
juice
they
already.
going at it. I go in the room and I tell my brother, I say, hey, bro, look, oh, goddamn, we had enough time. They been going at it so hard. We had enough time to go back right there and look at them. And they still going. I said, oh, shit, they about to go all the way.
I had a lot of experiences like that too. Like the way that the things that I saw and that I never told nobody until I got older. Like my mama didn't know a lot of stuff that I saw, a lot of stuff that was happening. For instance, the fact that my first experiences with sex were with girls, but because I always only saw men and women in relationships and stuff like that, I didn't think like now, that's gay. I didn't think of it like that. Like, and I felt like because it was a girl, it wasn't sex. Like I didn't know that it
you
was
was
the
a
same
kid.
thing. It was the
You was a
same thing
kid, man.
as a man and woman doing it. So it kind of just like brushed it off.
You was a kid, man.
Exactly.
That's why I believe like sometimes you don't know until you do that stuff. Sometimes
Exactly.
you don't know until you like sometimes like as I can honestly say that I done had experience where I was a kid and dudes came on to me and like hugged me and I'm hugging them. And then they get to a point where it's get uncomfortable. And I wouldn't know it get uncomfortable until it got uncomfortable.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Then I knew like, oh, he like that. Oh, he like that. And then I kind of like let them know like, hey, we cool, but I ain't like,
Right.
I must be
but you don't know sometimes until you have those experiences.
Yeah, it never happened to me.
Yeah, I think it's really normal for girls to experiment with each other. Like, I think that's most girls usually do, but I feel like also as kids, you have a lot of kids who expose you to sex too because they're being exposed to it. So they're doing certain things to you or whatever. Like you may have some a little older. Like for instance, I wouldn't be comfortable with my 8-year-old being friends with like a 10, 12-year-old kid because I know what I went through when I was a kid and the things that I was experiencing when I was that young with other kids. So I don't like that mix, like being in mix like that.
I'm gonna tell you, now that you touch bases on that, working in this prison, I kind of went, oh, now I understood why my parents were the way they were when we were younger, not doing the
definitely
and let people come, random people spend it. Like I understood that now because I'm gonna tell you something. You got some kids who were exposed to some things and stuff like that younger, and those kids can be predators too.
They are.
That's basically what I was saying. They
can't have a choice but to be.
They were exposed to it, and sometimes it's by an adult, and then they start trying things with other kids. Like not even knowing what they doing for real.
Exactly.
Like I remember in Head Start, I'll never forget this. It was Head Start, and I was on the bus. And my mama always taught us, protect your private part, don't let anybody touch your private part, that type of stuff. So it was this young lady on the bus. It was this little girl on the bus around my age, and she said, "Hey Brent, you want to see my kitty cat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you got a cat on the bus? Cool, let's see." So she, I turned around and she got her hand on her, private part, and I was like, "This is wrong." So I turned around, sat back down, and I didn't tell anybody because I was like, "What the hell just happened?" I'm a kid, so I ain't really understand.
And I feel like adults think that when stuff like that happen, you gonna immediately tell them, but you don't because it's a kid. It's different if it's like an older person or it's an adult. You're more likely to tell in a situation like that. But when it's a kid, it's like
you ain't even know what happened yourself,
right?
So, but what's interesting is, that happened, and then I think probably like 2 weeks later, this one day she just stopped riding the bus and she never came back to school. I didn't see her till years later when we were like junior high, middle school, and that's when I put 2 and 2 together that something was happening.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So kids get exposed to it, but it's natural. It
is, but at the same time, it's like I feel like our parents do a disservice by keeping us away from it thinking that, oh, they too young to know about this, instead of just talking to us about it regularly. Because yeah, my mama always used to tell me too about my private part, don't let nobody touch you, stuff like that. But at the same time, you ain't gonna listen to that all the time.
Yep.
That's exactly what I'm talking about now. Because I've been talking to both of mine since they was 2.
Yeah,
Even my 3-year-old now understand, like, hell, even when I'm watching her, like, I ask them, can I wash your, and I say their names. I'm like, can I wash your penis? Can I wash your vagina? My daughter, she don't even want me to wash her. She'll wash it herself. If you try to wash it for her, as her parents, you try to wash it for her, she's not going to let you do it. And I'm like, good. I'm proud
right.
of you. I got
I
to make
was
sure
like
you're
that as a
clean,
kid
but
too, which was
still.
weird. I was like that too. Like I would have experiences like people doing stuff to me, but I was never like the one doing it, if that makes sense. It was always situations where I'll be put in situations where they would be showing me certain stuff or they would be doing stuff, but I knew that it was bad to not repeat it,
Right. You
to
was
not do it to somebody else.
you were self-aware.
Right.
Like
But
people think kids are dumb. That's the
they
problem.
do.
A lot of people think
They're
kids are dumb.
experimental. They're
Right.
exploring.
They're
They're
going
curious. That's
to
the word. They're curious. Because even
curious.
with my kids, as young as they are, sometimes, well, they used to take baths together. So they're seeing each other. But then after a while, they're like, hey, what's that? Or why does that look like that? And I have to explain why it looks like that. And then I also have to explain, don't touch it. You don't
Right.
touch this one. You don't touch that. You never touch anybody else's. You don't let nobody touch yours. If somebody does, you need to immediately tell somebody. If it makes you uncomfortable, you need to tell somebody because it's not right. It's not something they're supposed to be doing. Even their pediatricians will ask them, like, is it okay for me to check you down here? And then they'll ask me, Mom, is it okay if I do this? Like showing examples of it's not okay for somebody to just do that to you, no
Right.
matter if they're your friend or if you think they're nice or cool. Like, it's not okay. Nobody, absolutely nobody. I even
And
let
what
them
that's
I
know,
it.
like,
And
yes,
that
you know what
I'm
right
I
your
there
did?
is
parents.
important. Like having it in different situations that they're in and having everybody, the whole community be like that. But that's not how it was when we was growing up. It was just
Exactly. And
your
that's exactly
parents.
why it's like that now, because even as their parents, we both let them know, yes, we are your parents. Yes, when you're taking your baths and stuff, y'all young, we're watching you. But there are certain instances where if you are feeling uncomfortable or if somebody does it a certain way and it's not right, it's not okay. Even if it's your parent, it's not okay, which is why we ask. And if we don't ask, they're like, hey, you didn't ask me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
in a rush. I'm just trying to get this over with, but you are absolutely correct. Can I wash this? No, I want to do it myself. Okay, do it yourself. Just make sure
Exactly.
you do it right.
Mama, I'll
And
never forget.
honestly, you gotta stress too, like even if you do like it, even if it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, like you're too young to even
Exactly.
understand it.
I, I remember. When I was in Maryland, and my mother was I just got out the tub or whatever. I said, "Mama, look, I got hair now. I'm a man."
My brothers used to be like
Damn,
that. Like my mama
boo.
used to be so like, and me and my brothers used to wash when we were younger too. And I was a lot older than them. Y'all know that, like 7 years older than my youngest, 5 years older. So I would be like 12, 13. They still washing with me. And my mama kind of raised us not only to be mindful of our bodies and people touching us and stuff like that, but to not sexualize each other. So I can see them naked, they can see me naked. Even to this day, if my brothers was to walk on me naked, it would be nothing, like nothing happened.
You know,
One of my brothers will still stand here and talk to me while I'm butt naked, like ain't nothing going on,
but you know what? But you know what's
like
so.
I was saying.
But you know what's so sad and so funny and stuff like that. We were raised like that too. And when I see people online talking, "Oh, that don't look right. That don't look right,"
Yeah,
I be like, "Shit, the damn door will be wide open. Somebody in my house, hey, bro, somebody bring me some toilet tissue."
right. Because like it don't look right is you putting that on it. You actually making it a problem because you're sexualizing somebody. But being able to look at a naked body or being able to look at certain things and not think of it sexually is pretty much, it should be the goal for all of us. But
That come with maturity.
Right. We put sex on everything. You can't do nothing. It's why you dress like that. Like my mama used to let me dress however I wanted to. She used to buy me little clothes. My stomach gonna be out, my back gonna be out. I'll never wear no bra. Like my family already know. Don't even comment. Like y'all know I don't wear bras. Y'all know I don't wear underwear. Like, don't even comment. Like she raised me like that. And then the people would be like, why you dress like that? Then she like, why you looking at her? How you even
That
know she
part.
dressed like that? What's wrong
Why
with
does
you
it
that you
bother
looking at
you?
my daughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
She would never like body shame me. Like my uncles used to try to do that junk, but I never paid attention to them. Like when they little friends used to be around,
I
like why
don't.
you dressed like that? You get to go in the house looking like that and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm
I'm
not doing that.
I I'm speaking from a different perspective and stuff, but I'm just being honest. A predator ain't got no damn gender. They ain't got no fucking no cultural color. It doesn't matter. A predator is a predator. I don't give a fuck what they look like. You know, you got women who are straight up predators, and you know
Right.
it doesn't get talked about enough. Like I remember grown fucking women sexualizing teenage boys.
They still do that. Like I be
I
seeing
was
and
gonna
the
say, let's
people
do
posting their
that.
sons on Facebook and in the comments. He's so fine. He's so handsome. He gonna look so good when he get older. With my little boyfriend and with my little husband. But if that was a little girl and men was doing that, you would
Oh
see a
man,
problem with it. But it's okay for your friends to sexualize your son and call him fine. And a lot of times they don't say nothing because it makes them feel good. Oh, people think my kid's cute. Like they cute. It's like an ego thing.
until
But it's
That's
it,
actually
nature.
weird.
yeah, it really is. Now
That's why, as a parent, you got to protect your children, man, at
Yeah.
all
They
times.
have a TikTok
Because that's
going
just the
around
nature
of
of
this
people.
woman that had a she was at a daycare or something like that. That sound that's going around trending right now. Talking about you're gonna be so popular, and like she was changing his diaper and was like, "You're gonna be popular," and I was like, "Pause. What?
bitch, I beat your ass.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm sitting there saying. Like, you know, that shit ain't got no damn gender. That's a
In
predator.
our community, we were historically sexualized. We were sexualized by white people, by the slaves, masters,
That's what
and
I'm saying.
so
That
we
shit
kind
deeper
of
than that's
keep
why I'm saying that shit deep.
we keep it going. We keep that junk going. Like it's learned behavior. But every time I see somebody, like you will see people just dancing. It be just grown women minding their business dancing. Like for instance, Regina, Little Wayne daughter, why you doing this online? Your parents should be ashamed, and you look making your parents look bad and stuff. Actually, why are you looking at her like that? Because she's just doing a TikTok dance. Why are you making it about?
They probably came up in a time where that wasn't so. They probably came up in the era where you couldn't see it that like that.
This
Nope.
ain't
It's
this
So
all
ain't
now they
God's
got
about
to alter
time.
who they
body.
is. They got to alter.
It,
They got to get with it. They got to understand like this is just how it is now.
Now
Well,
it's because they sexualize it. Because I guarantee,
Right.
if somebody with a certain body type do the exact same dance, wear the exact same clothes, there would be no
No
problem. But if
problem.
somebody who
If
has
you
more
curvier,
curves is yeah, that's basically it.
when
Curvier
you
or
curvier, when you
more attractive, and they do the exact same thing, wearing the exact same outfit. Hell, they could be fully clothed and will still get sexualized just because of the way their body is, and it has nothing to do with the person's mindset, what they're doing, how they're talking, nothing. You don't know if this person is smart, dumb.
right.
You don't know nothing about this person. All you know is how they look, and it instantly gets sexualized because that's how other people see them.
Yeah, because they see you as a sex object. Like you, it's sexier when you have curves, when you have a fat butt, when you have big boobs and stuff like that. And when people want to sleep with you, don't. And it's like it's fine, like your body is fine when I'm with you, when I'm able to have agency on it, but I don't want you to show it off because that's not how it's supposed to be. You only supposed to be for me to experience, but don't show your body off. You shouldn't have agency over it because I'm attracted to you, and it annoys me that you're doing stuff to yourself that I can't do to you.
And
I
what's
feel like it's so.
confusing is
I
the
feel like
fact
that's
that the more you're clothed, the more you're sexualized. Because if you notice in certain cultures, like showing your ankle can be a sign
Yeah.
of being sexual. Showing your wrist Like if you pull your sleeve up just a little bit, that'll be sexualized. That's an invitation
Women at the wedding, they
to
got
being
hoods from their
sexualized.
heads. They can't even show their hair.
Yeah.
Only show their eyes.
All right, certain cultures and stuff, yeah, they fully clothed. You can't even see
Fully
them.
clothed.
And they still get sexualized. And
Exactly.
they
So it's
still get
like
sexually assaulted. It doesn't matter how you're dressed.
Right.
babies get sexually assaulted. So it's like at this point we
Right.
should know it's not about how you dress or any of that. It's just that person who is sexualizing it. That's it. There's
Right.
like nothing else to it. It's just that person that's
Right.
sexualizing it, not the person that's getting sexualized. Because it doesn't make sense that other places that are practically what we would call nudists have none of these problems.
None of it.
They don't have these problems because that's just a body. It's just another body. It's just another human being walking around. But here, where we are fully clothed, dressed in certain ways, trying to be quote unquote conservative and shit, and yet we get the most sexualized.
That's true.
Oh, I agree with Van 100% because it goes back to that statement I said. A predator is going to be a predator, regardless of their sex. I don't give a fuck if it's a man. I don't give a fuck if it's a woman. A predator is a predator. They're gonna sexualize you how you look, regardless of what the fuck you got on. You know, trust me, I work with this shit every day. So we
that's why I had to, when we had that conversation, Brent, about the leave something for the imagination. That's all that is. That's a way of sexualizing somebody too. Just a certain way, so I can imagine you naked.
Well, see, I think for you, and when I reflect on that conversation that you said it, I was talking about mainly for me and mine, like whoever I'm in a relationship with and stuff like that. Not so much like I've never gave a shit with any of my women way out in public and all that type of stuff because I'll be like, yeah, buddy, that's just me. But when I'm talking about like around like the house or something like that, a little tease me shit, that type of shit, that shit cute, a little sexy shit. But that's just me though if I'm in a relationship. But I get what you're saying though. I agree with you 100%.
You notice how, like, when we have stuff like lingerie, how that's more enticing than just being fully naked. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're gonna be fully naked, but lingerie makes things more enticing. It's the same.
And I tell them to buy a certain color of
thing.
lingerie. And I tell them to buy a certain color sometimes.
Hell
I want this color.
Right.
So that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, like, yeah, if the people have the spirit of sometimes of enticing people too when they wear. Why would a woman wear a certain color or wear a certain thing? Do she want that attention? Do she want to be sexualized?
Yeah, she want some of them do like no.
I think want to be sexualized.
I'm gonna tell you this: like, I'm a person that has always been sexualized. And I feel like for me, it's more of an energy thing. It ain't even really what I wear, what I got on, because I've worn different things, and I'm still.
I ain't trying to cut you off, but regardless of that fact, that don't mean that red gonna make you hungry or that red gonna make you look at a person different. Just being a human.
I get what you're saying, but
you know what I'm saying?
But for me, I be in situations.
So wearing that or you wearing that energy a certain way, it gonna make people look like.
No, that's not where I was going with that. When I said the lingerie, where I was going with that was notice how if a person is completely naked, yes, for some it can be a turn on, but for whatever reason, it's more of a turn on when they have the lingerie on. It's more of a turn on when you are fully clothed, and like y'all said, it leaves more to the imagination because that's where people's minds go. But if you walk around fully naked, people gonna have something to say. Some people might get turned on, but for the most part, it's just like, damn, why are you doing it?
Like Lizzo.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
People, it ain't like Lizzo. People don't like Lizzo because she fat. Point blank, period.
But I'm saying it ain't.
If it was me,
hold on, no, I'm saying it didn't get to that point. No,
I like that.
Didn't get to that point until she wore her cheeks out. She was fine, but when she wore the cheeks out, that's when it got to that point where people started
getting backlash because she's a fat girl. She's a fat girl who sings certain songs and stuff like that. That's why.
Let's keep it real, bro. Like the only reason why stuff like that Lizzo was getting that slack because she fat.
Yeah, but I'm saying, listen,
it's like nobody wants to see that.
I agree with that. I'm saying when she does the things, what she does, that's what make people talk more. When she went to the Lakers game with the chaps, with her butt cheeks out, that's when people started talking about her more.
But even if that's what it is, why do you care? I've never looked at somebody in certain and then it bothered me. Why does it bother you what somebody else has on? I never understood that. I don't have any feelings about it.
If you had
I know when it comes to what you putting on, like I know when I was smaller in size, I turned myself on. I didn't give a fuck what nobody else thought about me, how I looked, how I dressed. I did not care. Why? Because I turned myself on. I would put on outfits, look in the mirror, and absolutely love myself and everything about it. I didn't care what it was. I was gonna put it on and wear it. I didn't care what nobody else thought about it. I wasn't trying to get nobody else's attention. I didn't care what no man thought about me because, for one, I didn't want one. I didn't care. I didn't care what my friends thought. None of that. I
don't think, y'all, don't get confused.
So
I don't think Lizzo did. I don't think Lizzo did it to get a man or to make do this for her friend. I just think people gonna talk when you do
if
shit.
If you feel good,
they
if you feel good in what you have on, why does it matter? Like, that is exactly what people are doing. They are not trying to get attention. It's because that's what they like. That's what they put on.
I feel like regardless of the fact, people gonna talk though, y'all.
That's true, but I feel like she gets more flat because she's fat. Like girls, you see Instagram models all the time online. Yeah, people say stuff to them too, but it's not as much hate as she gets.
That's a fact.
It's not as much.
That's a fact.
It's only because she's fat. Like everybody is trying to push their what is it? Their preferences on everybody else. They feel like because they don't like bigger women, then she shouldn't be doing it. And it's like, okay, if you don't like it, just don't look. Don't worry about it. Ignore it. She likes it. She's happy.
Because I can imagine if that was Beyonce with the ass cheeks out, it would have been talking about it. If that was Beyonce with them ass cheeks out, we'd have been like, but some people would have been talking smack too. Why are you doing that?
My children had to see that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like Van said, it wouldn't be because she had her cheeks out. It would be because she got a husband. Why she dressed like that?
Exactly. Everybody is going to have something to say. So why does it?
But it's just that Lizzo big, so we gonna say
it's most people. She because she, and that's crazy. I can see fat niggas say stuff about her, and I'm like, nigga, she look way better than you. I would rather see her naked than you.
Hold on. First of all, don't talk about my motherfucking wife because I'm a Lizzo fan.
No, you are not, Brent, bro. We had an argument about this. Stop lying.
Oh, we didn't. When did we have to argue about this?
Brent, you said that she was ugly.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
When?
Pause.
Van, did he not say that? Because I'm pretty sure I can't told you about it.
We have been talking about Lizzo this whole goddamn time, and you just now saying, "Hold up, stop talking about your wife." Brent, where you been?
No,
it's been the last 5 minutes.
Hold on, wait. I couldn't say no. I couldn't say anything because everybody was talking all at the same time, and I wasn't going to do that. No, I've always thought Lizzo was talented as fuck.
Bro, she's talented, yes, but you ain't saying
Lizzo looks just like every fucking girl I've ever dated.
Lizzo is beautiful, and you did say she was ugly.
No, I didn't.
But whatever, we're gonna move on to the next.
No, segment. I didn't. You ain't
we're gonna move on to the hear me out segment.
No, I didn't. I ain't say that shit. No, I did not.
You did say. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna show you. You said it because I know you said it because I went and talked to Van about it.
Prove it.
I will.
I will. Prove it.
I will.
All right, cool.
You know, Boonie keep the receipts.
Exactly, and prove it, nigga. What do I gain from lying on you?
Hey, like I said, show me the
nothing.
Receipt.
You did say it, and I'm gonna show you, but whatever. Let's go. Hear me out segment. Now we're going to move into the hear me out segment with our second question. What is the one issue you have with how society views sex as a whole?
People take things too far.
Meaning what?
Like this black-owned business in Houston, the Turkey Leg Hut. They had to enforce a dress code and stuff like that because people would come in there and stuff with their dress on any, dressed too provocatively for certain events. And then one woman decided that she was going to walk into the Turkey Leg Hut completely ass naked, and they were like, "What?" Like, I noticed the stuff like that some people take freedoms and liberties just too far in certain situations. That's not the situation for that.
So Turkey Leg Hut had to come in and say, "Damn, we got to put a dress code in
Right.
to make it like a family business, to keep the family business atmosphere."
Right. And then the sad part about it was so many people online trying to like justify the behavior of that. I'm like, why are y'all trying to justify the behavior when I saw the video of this woman just walking into this restaurant like that? It's kids.
Kind of like a no shirt, no shoes, no service kind of thing.
Right. And what's wrong with that?
Okay, but what did that got to do
He
with
black.
sex?
He black. That's why.
I said about sex as a whole.
Oh no, I was talking about something else. But sex wise, I mean, people gonna over sexualize any and everything. A woman can wear a wife beater to the store to grab something real quick, and there'll be somebody in there fantasizing about that. Like people weird. What do you want? Like people weird.
I don't even think it's weird sometimes.
You ain't even answering the question.
People just people. Now, some people is weird, but if you can't control yourself, that will make it weird. Like if you can't control her saying, "No, I'm good, I'm fine," and not getting mad or not, stalking her down or following her home, that would make you weird. But just seeing a woman and admiring it, I don't think that would make it weird, bro. She got on nothing. She ain't got nothing but a tank top on. I can see her nipples. Them shit pierced. That look good.
Right, but what I'm saying is like what I was hitting on is basically what you just said. Like you got those people who take that shit too far. Like they do that shit right there. What you talking about? Like that's type shit.
My problem with sex is that it's not talked about enough in the proper way. When people talk about sex, they instantly are going for basically pornos.
Or let me sell myself and talk about how freaky I am so I can
instead of sexual education. It needs to be sexual education because it don't make sense for people in their fucking 30s to still not know how the goddamn body works on both male and female. Now, I understand we are learning something every day, especially in the medical field. You're learning something on a regular basis. Things are constantly changing. People's bodies are completely different, especially from what's in medical books, because they were basically based off of certain
you just helped me out.
types of people. But we are constantly learning, so there's no reason why we shouldn't know at least a good majority of correct sexual education. Like it needs to be sexual education, not about who's sleeping with who, how you doing this, are you nasty, are you freaky, none of that stuff.
Let me show you how to keep your man. Let me show you some tricks
exactly. It needs to be educated from an early age, not starting in high school when majority of the kids done already had sex. So we're not gonna sit here and pretend like 11 and 12-year-olds ain't been having babies. We're not gonna sit there and do that. It needs to be taught at an early age where it can be understood and correctly, because there are parents who call themselves teaching their kids about sex when all they're doing is creating predators because they themselves don't know. It needs to be taught correctly. Now, what everybody considers correctly could definitely vary, but I think we all need to come to an agreement or one page about what is correct when teaching about sex. That's my problem. It's not talked about enough correctly.
You just helped me. You just helped me with my problem. My problem is kind of like in the same vein of education. I don't like how it went from STD to STI, and how they saying like with HIV they can get you to a non-detectable place, and all like, bro, you gotta.
STD and a STI is different.
Yeah, those are two different things.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, but it's making it. I feel like when they put these names on it, my point was like they put these names on it to make it less vicious or make it less, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
that's what I feel. I feel like they make
they have the medicine now to treat it, so it is less vicious.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say, and I feel like that kind of takes away from the education and the urgency behind the education. To me, in my point, that's my problem.
Oh, so you feel like people are going to be irresponsible with it more now?
Like that's how they market this stuff. How they market these medicines that y'all talk about.
Got you.
Like they make it common. How they make it on the commercial, like it's you know what I mean? That's what
but that's the thing, though. It is common. A high population of people have what is it? What the freaking?
I just don't like how they make it look marketed. But I don't like. I don't like.
Most people have herpes.
You know, they ain't making the commercials to where like they trying to deter you. You know what I'm saying?
But nothing is going to deter you from having sex. Nothing is going to
education. I feel like the education. We got to have like the education behind it.
Because it's a natural thing. Like the way that people act, and which goes into my problem. I don't like how we treat sex as a society. Like when you're younger, it's a bad thing. It's forbidden. You shouldn't do it. Whatever. Right. Like don't do it because you gonna bring a baby. That's all our parents care about. What you getting pregnant or you creating a baby most of the time.
They're trying to place fear.
That's the number one thing that they stress. They'll tell you wear a condom so you won't get nobody pregnant, but they don't say wear a condom so you won't give somebody a STD or STI. They don't really talk about it that much. They, like you said, Damien,
I never heard of an STI growing up. I just heard of STDs. I ain't gonna lie. Never heard.
Yeah, and that's where education comes in.
Yeah, because like she said, medicine improves and they learn different things every day about our body. So there are things that you know about that are STIs. Like they just separated it, made it different now.
They just changed the name from disease to infection. That's what I'm saying.
No, they didn't. They didn't change the name to it.
Are two different things,
right? What happened to make them stress the STI is that they learn more about the diseases, and so they put them in these categories because that's where they fit. I mean, basically, that's what they did.
They're running ads on STIs and STDs more now than they probably ever have.
Like, I feel like they do warn you about STDs and stuff now a lot. I just feel like people don't care because they just want to have sex.
Like, exactly. Do you know how many men
really and truly don't care?
Yeah, not even men, but when they're told, "Hey, I have herpes," or "Hey, I have HIV," and they're like, "I don't
care." They say, "I don't care." Like,
I don't think y'all get what I'm saying.
I don't know about HIV herpes thing.
No, you speak for yourself because it's a lot of men. I be seeing on TikTok, there are people who have platforms where they talk about having herpes and having HIV, and you will see in the comments, "She fine. I don't care nothing about the herpes. I'll still have sex with her." Stuff like that.
Is a joke.
Under the comments,
famous quote, "I'll risk it all."
Right, I'll risk it all for her. Look at her, I'll risk it all.
But that don't mean they would. They
definitely would.
They would.
They would.
If it's coming out their mouth, they definitely
would. Damien, let's keep it real. Like let's keep it. Me and you having this conversation now, because you and I got ass of homeboys, and one of the things that I tell my homeboys.
Excuse me, what?
Nah, homeboys.
The four of us having this conversation.
No. Follow along. Let me get what I'm getting ready to say.
I'm just making sure you.
I got you.
Having this conversation.
I'm on y'all side on this. Chill out. I got you.
One of these days, I'm gonna need Boonie and Brent to have the floor like for the entire segment.
No, but what I'm getting ready to say is, Damien, how many dudes and stuff did you know and shit like that will willingly go and get tested?
I don't know.
Right. So, like I'm with the girls and stuff on that. Like, you got guys who run away from going to get tested. Like they terrified of it. And if you
I ain't gonna lie, in my neighborhood growing up, we always the most we talk about was condoms and stuff. We all made sure we wear condoms. Like ain't nobody in my neighborhood had babies early. We all had babies later on in our teen, like at the high school. Everybody. None of us, ain't no girl or no dude in our neighborhood had baby early. And from Green
Acres. Your neighborhood was like, y'all was lit.
You know what I'm saying? And we got, nigga, we fucking. You trust me.
Y'all was lit. And you're right. I never even looked at it, but you're right.
We talked about shit like that. We was on it. So I can't say what we did, who got tested or what, or who had what, but we know to protect ourselves. Yeah, all of us, the girls and the dudes.
Right. But then what's so funny is the stuff.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. We was good at it.
But at the same time,
we didn't have that type of advertisement today. Like our advertisement came from school and hands-on. I don't like the messaging they put on TV. I feel like it should be more at home. And we took care of ourselves and we did right. We did right without them commercials. We ain't had them commercials. Y'all get what I'm trying to say?
But as you, that's like one your neighborhood, but that because y'all was so close, y'all was so close knit, like y'all were brothers pretty much. Like everybody in your neighborhood it's like a community, so y'all talked amongst yourself. I can tell you right now, I grew up in the neighborhood with old people, and like it was a little bit of kids or whatever. I've been around grown-ups my whole life, just really grown people. That's how I learned a lot of the stuff that I learned, because my family, they talk about sex all the time. I used to be right at the table soaking everything in, listening to my mom and aunt. And I ain't talk about like, this is whatever. It was like, I had sex with this nigga, this what we did, this how it felt, all of that stuff. And I just used to sit there and listen to them. And my mama and my aunt made me think that sex was so, like, it was gonna be this great thing. Like, I couldn't wait. My mama was like, at least wait until you're 18, wait until you get out of high school. When I turned 18, I was so happy to finally be the age where I could have experiences. And as soon as I started putting myself out there trying to have those, I immediately learned that it ain't what they said that it was gonna be. And a lot of the times it would be because the guys were ill-informed, and I had to, because of that, because I was having I ain't gonna say so many, because it was a handful of people, but because I had so many of those instances happen, like I'll say 3, where it didn't work out because they didn't really know what to do with my body for me to get there. And it was mostly because they didn't have
the education.
No, because they skipped the God dang it, why am I losing the word? Why am I losing it? Foreplay. They skipped foreplay. And went straight into trying to have sex. And that might work with some women, but they ain't gonna work with me. And I had to learn that. I had to learn my body or whatever. And I realized that a lot of guys are ill-informed. All they know how to do is penetrate somebody. All they know how to do is penetrate some walls. They don't really know what they're doing. So I started learning everything I could about sex. And from then on, I would be the one taking charge whenever I had sex with men, because I felt like they just didn't know what they were doing.
I always knew what to do, honestly.
And I ain't about to sit down and just
them porno tapes, all them porno. I remember one time my mama found a DVD my brother had, and she caught us slipping. I guess she was cleaning our room or something.
She caught y'all slipping.
She got us up. She literally made us like come together. She's like, you got this motherfucking shit in my house, and these motherfuckers on the cover ain't even got no damn condom on. And me and my brother look at each other, we like, oh, that what she fussing about? Oh, okay. we just were happy she been fussing about that and not just the porno itself. So she took
a
the
lot
porno.
of men had learned sex by porn, but that's not proper.
Right, but she took the porn and she be like, look, that ain't how y'all want to be with a woman. Like, like she be like, when you be with a woman, it ain't gonna be nothing like that movie. Like it's nothing like that.
Exactly.
She's like, you gotta, she start telling us like early, like, when she see us, we been doing that, like having tapes around and DVD and being suspicious like that to that level. That's what she starts saying about, protect yourselves, the condoms and all that. Like we was a baby again almost,
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing, I think everybody should just be going out getting tested if you actively engaged in sex.
And this is, I'll say, if you a person that has sex with multiple people, you should be getting tested every 3-4 months.
More than that, every month.
Yeah, if you out here like that. But like Brent said, it's a lot of men who don't be wanting to have sex. I'm wanting to get tested. To even get in my space, you get tested, or you ain't never gonna see me a day in your life. You gotta get tested. I don't do the accidental, we had an accident. I don't do that.
I think the guy, energy. I think the guy, well, let me put it like this. I think the people that avoid getting tested are nervous.
They scared of something. They scared of something.
Right. Well,
I'll pull up my chart so fast right here on my phone. Look, I got my shit on my phone.
Me too.
Hey, I love the fact.
Everybody got a my chart. There ain't no excuse. You can show me your shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And they'd be like, I'd be like, when the last time you get tested? Oh, I got tested last year. No, you didn't.
All these
I ain't got time for that.
Since the pandemic, everybody got a computer system, got a my chart. Every hospital.
They should.
But the one thing that I can say about sex, and I know it's like people try to shame women. I've always respected women who had condoms and stuff with them. Always. Like
they prepared.
I've never been one of those guys and stuff like that. Be like, oh, she a slut, she a hoe. I'm like, bro, the girl got condoms. What the fuck is you tripping for?
I like girls like that. I like girls like that. Because I'm the ones who teach. Like I learned the most about sex by listening. Like Shakita said, is listening to girls talk in high school. That's when I really learned.
Yeah, because
Girls
girls
say,
used to
this nigga, she said,
they
girl,
used to
this
be talking about y'all, bro.
the girl who I learned the most from,
I'll say
like
I ain't missing
that's
nothing.
my dog. Like she was popular. You feel me? And like she didn't hold back from me. Like in them conversations, she let me know. Like I know about dudes. I know, you feel me? Everything. And she was like, nah, this nigga, he said he gonna do this and this to me and that to me. He ain't scared to do this, whatever, about licking the pussy or whatever. She said he get down there and this nigga licking my hole. She said, I'm looking at her. She said, looking at him, I want to slap it, but she's saying it to me like I already know, but I don't know. You feel me? So, but she teaching me,
right?
But she talking to me like I know how to eat. Like, you know, she's like, yeah, this nigga's licking my hole. I couldn't get into that shit. She's like, I had to teach this nigga. I'm trying to ease up. Every time I ease up, he eases back down. She's like, nigga.
Damn, one of my best friends, she was the one that schooled me and educated me on how to, the foreplay and how to handle a woman. She said, when you going downtown or you doing whatever you're doing, she said, it's like you eating ice cream cone. She was like, you be gentle, you be delicate, and communicate.
You got to listen to them girls, man.
Yeah, that's what my mama taught me early. Like she was like, it wasn't just this is how sex would affect you mentally, physically, whatever. It was she bought me sex toys. I got into lingerie early. Like I was wearing thongs when I was like 12. like my mama, she just it was more than just, and people would look at that and be like, that's weird. No, she was teaching me about my sexuality, how to own my sexuality and myself, and being feminine and being a woman and what that's like. And I want you to be comfortable in your body. I want you to be comfortable to basically when you put on stuff, it's supposed to accentuate your body and like what you got going on. Like taught me how to do all of that stuff early. And because of that, I didn't rush to have sex. I listened to everything she told me. Even though I was curious, I didn't rush. I wasn't trying to do knowledge. People thought that I was having sex because I knew a lot. I knew a lot about it. Aside from what she was teaching me, I'm listening to everybody too. I'm doing research. I'm learning everything that I can learn, reading these books. Porn was never something that I looked at and was like, I'm gonna learn sex from them, because it wasn't realistic. Like I really and truly do not like porn.
You laughing, but it goes.
You probably would love lesbian porn. You probably would love that.
That's what I would look at if I do, but I don't like it.
Hey, but
you don't like lesbian porn?
No, I like lesbian porn. That's the only one that I would watch. I don't like porn, but I'll watch that if I'm going to watch it.
You can tell the ones who try to learn from porn, like when they do the real acting, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Like, they had no education. They take education. You got
what
to
you gotta do. Like that's supposed
to that goes back
people don't even realize it's for entertainment.
Education.
It is. It's the entertainment.
Porn is for entertainment. It's not really to teach you anything. But there are porn out there, because I've come across some stuff where they literally, like, it was like this man teaching how to give head, and it was like an hour long. And like they teach, like, you find, if you look for it, you find porn like that, but a lot of people probably wouldn't look at it because it's like, I want the theatrics or whatever. But it's porn out there that will teach you things to do and how you're properly supposed to do things or whatever, but you have to look for it specifically.
Well, it goes back to what we said earlier, what I said earlier about HBO. I learned how to take care of, please women and stuff from my homegirl, who's still my best friend to this day. And believe it or not, a working girl. She was a high-level escort. Her name was Miss Roxy, and she was on one of those HBO specials that we were talking about. And she was talking about how her men clients were doofuses. They didn't know what they were doing. And she was sitting there talking about.
She got to show them. She an educator.
Right. And so she was sitting there talking, and my little 15-year-old ass just sitting there doing this with him, like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to what she's saying. And she was sitting there just talking and talking. I'll never forget that. I can't remember the name of the episode though, so everybody can go research it for research purposes. Damn, what's the name of it?
Like people, like I said, I used to sit and listen to my family talk, and people would have ran their kids like, go around there, adults talking. My family was not like that. They did things in front of us that people would look at and was like, that's unhealthy. But the younger generation, our generation, is nothing like that generation. Like, we really looked at them learn from their mistakes, and we're nothing like that when it comes to the way that we are with each other, our relationship with each other, our relationship with other people. Stuff, not to say that there aren't generational curses that are still there for us to break. Yeah, they are. There are going to be generational curses for as long as we live to break, because we human. Nobody's perfect. You're gonna make mistakes along the way, and your kids might find a better way to do things, a more efficient way to do things, something that's better for them. But like my family just used to do whatever in front of us. And I'll say this, like we do it. There are the women in my family who have a lot of kids. Like our family just kind of like had that thing. Women in my family have a lot of kids, which is why I don't have any because I'm scared.
You learn from them. You sharp on your decision. I feel like that's the most thing. I was gonna say earlier, when it comes to sex, I feel like at the end of the day, as soon as you're born, you're a human being.
Exactly.
And once you're a human being, it's beyond your control what urges you're gonna have. You know what I mean? Before anybody could teach you, before anybody know, you already been dealing with yourself as a baby. Like you don't even know.
Right.
And I ain't want to get biblical, but it was something in the Bible where God said, like when he got Noah to flood the earth out, right? When the first children was born after that, he noticed they already had those same like devilish tendencies or choices to make. And he was kind of like regretful about it. And I say that to say like from a baby, we already, babies already making choices. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like they already got a personality. It just ain't grow yet. So that's why it takes to be molded and educated.
It's really that
for
they
them
just don't communicate in the way that we do.
They got to understand that this is that feeling you feeling. And this is how people perceive that feeling, or this is the normal way that people, handle feeling this way.
I'm not
because at an early age. Go ahead, Brent.
I'm not a parent, and I just think a lot of parents are scared or like taboo somewhat to even have those
or ill-informed.
Yeah, ill-informed to have those conversations with their children. Yeah. But I can say that those are conversations that need to be had, because if you don't teach your baby, I can guarantee you somebody else will.
Yep. And at the end of the day, they're a baby. They're a person with feelings, with emotions, with stuff you don't even understand about yourself yet. They definitely ain't gonna understand yet. You got to think about how much they got to go through to understand.
And their feelings deserve to be validated too. I feel like parents don't validate their kids' feelings. It's like you're not supposed to feel like that.
Yeah. And ain't no telling, no age limit on when a person can start feeling so. Like how you say a female can have a baby at 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
That's possible. So therefore, the possibility for her to feel a certain way or want to know about a certain thing, that gonna happen way before then.
Like when I was teaching public education or whatever, and I had one of my boys and stuff like that, he was talking about getting up with this girl on the weekend. I said, man, just make sure you have some condoms and stuff. He looked at me and said, I'll never forget this. He said, what's a condom? He literally looked at me and told me, what's a condom? And I looked at him and I said, bro, you don't know what a condom is? And you know what he told me? He said, man, Mr. Ken, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, my father and stuff like that ain't around. It just means you don't talk to me about this kind of stuff. So after I, gave him like a course and stuff done on condoms, I'll never forget, he walked down the hall, yo, mom, go by the clinic, get them condoms or whatever, right? You got them on? Like he was talking to his mom and stuff that about that. And it just made me realize, like, wow, there's some people out there who really just don't want to educate their children about this type of shit.
Because they don't know how. They don't really know what to say to them. It's like
it's of their feelings. They are uncomfortable with it, so they don't want to do it.
Right. And not even like, because let's be real, like as an adult, like when you're growing up, you don't really learn a whole lot about sex, or it exists, you know that people are doing it, you having these feelings, but you don't know how to make sense of it. A lot of times there's a lot of adults that don't know nothing about sex. They know how to do it. They know how when they want to have sex, but they don't know nothing about it to teach you anything about it.
I think it's quite simple though. Y'all ever seen the Meet the Fockers?
Yeah.
Baby Jack with the milk.
Yeah.
And when he seen the lady boobs, he ooh with the milk he wanted. I feel like it's just simple as that. You feel me?
That's true,
You know
but some
he didn't
people
even know
don't
no
think.
better. He ain't know no better. He didn't see them titties. That would give me milk. Ooh, Lord, look at that.
And a lot of people would look at that and be uncomfortable, like, what he doing? Like, why he doing that?
Right. But that's a teachable moment. No, Jet, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't have her. You know, you pull him away. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, as early as a baby is when you start teaching them.
Oh yeah, because baby, definitely, my little brother was so touchy-feely. My mama used to have to tell him, you cannot go to school touching your teachers and touching little girls, because that's his love language. Like, he'll just come in my room and touch my arm or something like that. That's him telling me he loved me. Like, and when I was younger, I learned early how much power I had as a woman and how men reacted to me. There were times when I would feel like guys wouldn't directly ask me to do certain things. Like, for instance, I never got asked to give somebody head ever. And when I got older, I started thinking about that. I'm like, why nobody never asked me that? Like, did they think I couldn't do it or something? It was like one time, like in 6th grade, I remember one of my classmates asking me, and I was down. I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. I was down, and I was like, after school, I used to go, what was it? Where did he live? It was up the track, I think. And he was like, back then we ain't had no cell phones, and he pretty much told me to come to his hood or whatever, and I went, but he wasn't there. Like, nobody never really would ask me stuff like that. I was wondering why, but I feel like when it comes to me, like, I know the power that I had with my energy, and I know that it's sexual energy. I know that I have a strong sex appeal. I know that you can feel my energy coming off of me, but I also know how to use that energy for other things, and I feel like people don't know that. Like, I use my sexual energy to create. That's why I got 15 books. I got I got games that I done created. I got clothing brand
energy into other things.
Exactly. I use it. I turn it into creative energy, and I create. You don't always have to have sex to expel that sexual energy.
Right.
Like, there's so many different ways that you can use it, and it will work out for you. It'll make things happen for you.
Yeah, but one of the things, stuff that we talked about, we talked about the physical side of sex, but we never talked about the emotional and mental toll having multiple sexual partners can have over, as time stuff that progresses. Because let's keep it real. If you look at old times, I think the average lifespan was what, 15 or something like that. By the time you hit 30, you consider old or something. Like, really, nobody's really supposed to be having sex. But let's keep it real. People are gonna do it anyway. But we need to start telling people about we need to start educating these kids about the emotional side of it. Like, what
my mama definitely put that was like some of the first things that she taught me about how it can become an addiction to you. If you have an addictive personality, and a lot of the times it's not even, a lot of people don't even realize that that's what it is. They'll say, I have a high sexual appetite. I have to have sex with multiple people. I have a high sexual appetite. I'm supposed to do that, especially men. I'm supposed to do this as a man. This is how I show my manhood and express myself. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than you having the urge to have sex with many people. A lot of the times that energy that you have can
that's false, because what was you
be
doing
used to something else.
What did you do with that energy before you started having sex? That's how you know that's an excuse.
The whole time be emotional and sexual trauma.
Right. It's a lot of things that could be causing that. And we think that, oh, it's normal for us to feel like this. Now, not some people have high sexual appetites. I have a high sexual appetite. I consider myself to be a person who has a high sexual appetite, but I have self-control, and I also have knowledge of myself and my body, and I know how to use that energy to do something else.
Right. And it's so hard to mix with people.
Experimenting.
It's hard to mix with people having that knowledge and that energy, though, because you know that they don't have that same notion and that same control. So it's hard, right? And that same discretion for the energy. So therefore, they mixing around. So it's hard for you to trust them with yours.
Exactly. And that's why I keep it to myself. And I know who who is able to handle it and who's not. And I feel like a lot of times when women, it be some women that mean what men think they mean. Well, when women say you can't handle me, when I tell somebody they can't handle me, I'm not challenging you to try harder to get me. I'm not telling you that you have to do this, that, and that to be able to get me. I know that I could mess your mind up. I can have you emotionally
When a
out
woman
of
tells me that,
control. I know that.
when a woman tell me that now at this age, I believe them. I believe them.
And I know
because that's the energy you putting out, so that's what it's gonna be.
Right. Not necessarily I'm trying to do that at the same time, like, oh, I want to mess up, I want to do this or whatever. But I've had experiences with men, so I know how this gonna go. And you know, the feeling, the thought, the feeling that
yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'm like, oh shit, he about to croak on the podcast.
the thought, dang, I forgot what I was about to say. But anyways, like when it comes to your sexual energy, like people who y'all who feel like y'all have a high sexual appetite and y'all have strong sexual energy, it doesn't mean that you should have sex with any and everybody. It doesn't, that when you're like that, you're actually supposed to be more careful than people who aren't like that. You're supposed to be more selective with who you have sex with and who you even have in your space, because that energy can influence people to do certain things to you.
Not only that, people are funny. And what I mean by they're funny, if they know that you have a if they know that you have a high sex drive and you're willing to fulfill that desire or appetite with any and everybody, like you could get a bad reputation behind that. So
you low hanging fruit. You low hanging fruit to somebody.
What's so funny is if a man is a player and he has a lot of sexual conquest, some women will find that attractive. But if you got a woman and stuff like that who has a high sex drive and a high body count, whatever you want to call it, they'll look at her like she's a slut.
But they still gonna fuck. They still gonna fuck with her though.
yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, like you gotta. People don't have like. The older I'm getting, the more and more I realize why discipline and self-control is so important when it comes to just relationships and sex. Like the more discipline you have over yourself and your desires, the more progress you can have in your life. And it's just amazing and stuff of how that works. We all have
common sense, but apparently it doesn't. Like the more, like you said, Brent, the more you work on yourself, the better life would be overall in every aspect, whether it's your sexual life, emotional, mental, everything. But they don't want to do the work for it because it is work.
And also there is a lot of things that you have to face when you work on yourself. There's a lot of trauma that people don't want to face. They don't want to go back and have to deal with things that has happened to them and stuff like that in order to get to that point. Because working on yourself is ugly. It's not easy. It's not something that it gets better every day. No, sometimes you have good days. Sometimes you have days where you're emotionally drained and exhausted.
Because working on yourself brings up the deepest, darkest experience you've ever fucking had in your life. Because trust me.
Yeah, you'll feel like you hate yourself more now than you did before you started. But you have to get to that point because to me, it seems like everybody wants more of that instant gratification, those small moments of instant gratification, than to, put in the hard work and get to the long-term gratification.
It goes back to what we talked about off air. Remember we were talking about guys in prison and plans and all that type of stuff. Like one of the things that I've asked women who I've taken seriously is, where do I see you? Like, where do you see us in 5 years? They'll tell me a great story and I'll listen and I'll fall for it. And I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. But when we get to that point at a crossroads and I remind them of what we talked about for those 5 years, it's well, I was like, oh, okay, so you were never serious about it. It sounded good. Because people will tell you a good story.
Because people are, the only thing people are doing is imitating other people, imitating movies that they've seen growing up, imitating people in relationships that they've seen. They don't really mean a lot of the things that they say. They say it because it sounds good. That's what I'm supposed to say when you ask me a question like that, because I want to be with you, even though deep down, I don't care nothing about 5 years with you. I just want to be with you right now.
Exactly. That's why it's important to try to stay about being abstinent, because that help you stay about your boundaries. You can see people like that coming from a mile away because you ain't been it up. That's something that you ain't weak on. So that's what you that bullshit, sniff it out.
Right.
You say, Van? What'd you say, Van?
I said, and there's nothing wrong with just saying it. Like, how he said, I don't see nothing with you in 5 years, or I'm not even trying to see. I just want to be with you right now. I used to say that. I was like, what do you
People
see in
not
our
gonna
future?
say that
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow. My mood changes on a daily. I don't even know if I'm gonna like you tomorrow. I don't know.
I say the same thing
I'm
too.
just here for a good time.
I say the same thing too, and being honest like that kind of throws people off more than lying, like saying that lie. Like some people want to hear that lie that you want to be with them for in the next 5 years, you want to be married and have kids. They like that lie rather than you saying, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about you. Because I'll say that when dudes hit me with I want this, I want to do this with you, I don't want you to catch feelings. I'm like, like, you don't want me to do what?
That irritates
if I
the
don't
hell out
do
of me.
nothing else, I'm catching feelings. Like, what are you talking about? You know how I'm designed. I'm designed to be in my emotions. Why would you even say something like that to me? You know exactly. A lot of times, maybe knowing exactly what they doing too, because most women, good and well, she gonna catch feelings for you. It don't matter what she said.
Especially if she let you hit it. Especially if she topping you off and she letting you hit it.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not about to say, I ain't gonna catch feelings. I'll say, if it's a situation that I don't really care about being serious with the person, I'll say I am going to catch feelings, but I know that you're not somebody who's going to give that back to me. So I know how to handle myself. I know how, when I start catching feelings, I'm bowing out. I'm not about to keep trying to hold on to this, thinking, he gonna choose me one day. Let me stay. No.
One of the things
I start catching feelings and you showing me that you don't want that, okay, I'm distancing myself from you.
One of the things I used to tell, some of the girls and stuff I got in class with, where they would confide in me and stuff like that. They would come and have conversations with me. I used to leave the door open, of course, and stuff like that for my protection and safety and stuff. But I would tell them, I said, listen, having sex with this boy, doing what this boy asks you and stuff like that, that's not gonna make that boy like you or love you or want you. Like, don't sit there and fall for it. Like, he's got this mentality, and some men do, boys, men, whatever you want to call it. Like, okay, if she's already given me the sexual desires and the sexual access to her, what the fuck else am I supposed to do for her? Like, why the fuck do I have to do anything else? I'm already getting what I want, so fuck her. That's how some dudes and stuff at their field. And I told some of my young ladies, y'all try to have babies to keep these guys around, but if that dude does not connect to you like that, he don't give a fuck about you or that baby. He'll get the fuck on.
Yeah, that's fact.
Yeah, and then I think some women feel like the way to win a guy over and like their power is in giving away their body to men or whatever. That's not a power. You lost when you think that that's your power. Your power is holding on to it and letting him know that you holding on to it, not necessarily give him ultimatums. I don't ask men for nothing. I don't give them no ultimatums. I don't give them no long list of what I expect from them. I'll tell you that I don't care whether we together or not. Before I spend any time with you in person, you gonna get tested. You ain't even coming around me if you don't get tested. And a lot of men don't do it. So they don't get to experience me, but they keep trying because they think, I'm gonna keep trying until she give in. I don't care nothing about sex. I don't care nothing about being with you. I'm never giving in. Like, it's gonna have to be something that interests me about you, that makes me want to get to know you or whatever. And that's a hard thing to do, honestly. And I'm not I ain't lowering no standards. I'm not changing nothing. I keep my boundaries. Those same dudes come around all the time. And it's been like that since I've known them. They always coming around. And the answer is always no, unless you're gonna show me something else.
Yep.
Sure. Okay, let me ask you this because hopefully you can answer this question because one of the some of the girls and stuff that I used to teach on our public, they would ask me that type of question. And I was like, hell, I don't know, because I never did it before. When you mean by they keep coming around, what do they keep saying? You know what I mean? Like what do they keep saying?
Is guys that they gonna just keep coming to try and see if they gonna crack you, basically. Like you're a challenge to them. So even if you don't give them what they want, like a lot of men gonna keep trying, and it don't necessarily mean that they love you, they in love with you, they like you. They just gonna keep trying to crack you. Like I'm gonna just keep checking because one of these days she gonna break, not me. It ain't never happening.
Yeah, and it don't mean that they're waiting on you or anything like that.
Right.
They're fooling around with whoever they want to fool around with. But let's say like every year, every 2 years, they come back like, you changed your mind? No.
Exactly.
Right.
It don't mean nothing.
And come back. You changed your mind? No.
Well, see, I mean,
it means nothing.
I've never done anything like that, so I'm just curious.
Like it don't mean nothing. Like it don't mean that they love you or like they wait. Like Van said, they waiting for you. It just means that they gonna keep trying. And to them, you're a challenge, and men like a challenge. So they always gonna try to get at you like that.
It's almost like how Brent earlier said, a conquest, because it's like once they feel like they got you, then it's like, all right, mission over, I can move on with my life. But as long as they got that one that they couldn't get, if they are that type of person, they gonna always come back and try.
Yeah, you messing with somebody now? Myself.
I mean, it was a good talk, you know.
Okay. Let's move to the next segment. My bad, because I feel like we kind of did like so. Let's fix it segment. Now that we've discussed some of the issues,
like this like 2 episodes right here.
Yeah. Maybe, but because last time I thought it was long and it wasn't. It was like an hour and 45 minutes. But if it's over 2 hours, then I'm gonna break it up. But now that we've discussed some of the issues we have with the way society views sex, we are going to come up with some solutions to fix these issues. So how do you think we can build a healthier relationship with sex individually and as a society?
Well, we answered all of that earlier.
Yeah, that's what I said. we came up with solutions already. So I just wanted to
you had any more questions other than that?
Yeah, I still got other questions.
Okay. But just to recap,
I got one for every segment. But
education, basically just education and talking about
educating yourself on yourself.
Right, learning yourself, learning your body.
And nothing
being able to listen for the people that you're interacting with, actually listening to them, because nobody knows them better than them.
And discipline.
So yeah, self-discipline, self-control. Also caring, like actually caring to do any of these things. Because if you don't care, nothing that we said is gonna work for you. There are some people out there that don't care.
People care in that moment, then develop amnesia within less than 15 minutes after caring.
Right.
That post-nut clarity.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay, so the next segment is the story time segment. So for the story time segment, I would like each of us to participate by answering the 4th question. What is something you've learned about yourself through your sexual experiences?
For me, I didn't want to put that label on me, but basically that I'm asexual. I really don't give a fuck about sex. I really don't care nothing about sex. It's all about the feelings around it, the emotional and mental stimulation that happens before the act, but the act itself, I could deal without.
Okay, Damien.
I learned that basically what Brent was saying earlier, that it's energy attached to it. More than anything, that's what I learned, that it's energy attached to it. I also learned that I'm very sexual. So being that I'm very sexual and that it's energy attached to it, I know that I got to be more careful with it now. So I'm nothing like how I used to be growing up, as far as, like you say, knowing how to control that sexual energy and shift it to other things. I'm learning how to do that.
For me, basically the same thing Damien said. Like I learned how you can influence people with, like when I say influence, I mean like attract people when it comes to that energy. And I'm still trying to figure out if there's a way that I can control it, like to not put it out or whatever. I'm still trying to figure that part out. But I do know that I have a strong sex appeal just by talking to people who are attracted to me and asking them why. And I think that's an important thing too. I feel like to learn about yourself, you have to have conversations with other people about how they view you. And I don't care how many men make you feel like you're aggravating them when you ask them questions. Always ask them questions. It's things that you want to know about you. Ask them how they view you, how they feel about you. If they don't want to answer that, that's because they probably don't feel about you. But ask questions so you can learn yourself through other people as well, and be open to criticism, be open to the things that they're going to say to you. You have to be prepared to what they say, and you can't take offense to it. And it helps you to see yourself in a way that they do, and it helps you to, improve if that's what you want to do. Brent?
I'm just happy and stuff with that. I did not bring children into my chaos. I'm just being honest. Of everything we said, yeah, that shit sounds fantastic. I'm just happy I did not bring children into my chaos, especially since I'm going through a metamorphosis of being away from home. But I'm actually taking the time out to actually learn myself, because I thought I had myself figured out, but I didn't. So me being not in a relationship and me not really entertaining any women, I don't have a fucking roster or anything like that now. Like, I'm actually getting to know myself, and right now I like where I'm at. And as far as like sex and stuff that's concerned, yeah, I like sex. I ain't sitting here and deny and say I don't, but I've always been cautious with sex as well, because I know the craziness that could come from that shit with the wrong person. Because like you just got some people whose energies, energy is
they
very
basically have what do you call it, Van? Anxious attachment style. Is it anxious attachment style?
Yep.
People who are like they have like this addictive personality thing where they're clingy. Basically, they're very clingy.
Well, we talk about energies and spirits and all that type of stuff, but the one thing I realize about spirits and energy is that shit can be very deceptive if you don't pick up on certain shit right away.
Yep. And with that being said, I realized that's why I slowed down, because I realized you can be the hunter and you can be hunted. Like, if everybody look back on their life, it's been times a situation where we dealt with people. Sometimes you've been the one who been making it happen or trying to approach the situation, and then other times, well, somebody be coming after you, making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful now that you know, like you know.
Yeah, like self-awareness with sex is very important. Like, it's damn near important. I know everybody in the segment saw me and Boonie had a little tit for tat, but I ain't got nothing but the utmost love and respect for Boonie. I'm still
That's a regular thing.
Yeah, you're right. It is a regular thing, but I like it though because it's kind of funny. Because like, we don't hold a grudge. It is what the fuck it is. We can move forward. I'm gonna send her a stupid ass fucking meme or video. She gonna laugh, and we going back to a regular channel program, whatever. But I don't disagree with anything that she said. Self-awareness is important. Knowing your sexual urges is important. Like, once you become in tune with all of those things, you can make better decisions for your life about sex. Because that shit, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Damon, we were sitting there talking. Yeah, cool. Get this chick, not this chick, not that chick. But man, when I look back on all that shit, I was lucky to avoid all of the chaos that could come along with that.
Yeah, you got a responsibility, honestly. Like, you can't just be reckless. You have to be responsible for what you're doing. And then when people react to you a certain type of way, they crazy. Like you didn't play a part in that. You played a part in it.
Oh, man, say it, Van, story time.
Story time.
She said it earlier.
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. I got a story for y'all. One of my homegirls loves this girl to death. She called me, I'm coming. She went on a date with this dude. No, she was at a club and she just was talking to this guy. This damn dude pops up in quotations at the club that she's at, staring her down the whole entire night. Walked over to her, grabbed her by her arm, told her to come outside. She went outside and he told her to get in the car. She said, I'm not getting in the car. And the next thing you know, she's cursing him out. She goes back inside the club. The guy calls his best friend or whatever and said, man, I don't know why she's doing me like this. I really love her. And then turned around. Hell, they ain't been talking up for 2 weeks. And I told my best friend, I said, bitch, you better run.
And also men that act like that over you, that's not love. That's not him loving you or him being crazy about you.
That is control.
That's control. And he sees insecurity. He sees you as somebody. A lot of times people know who they can control and who they can do certain things to. Men who act like that, do not take that as a compliment. That's not a compliment.
No, that's not a compliment. And I'm going to say this, and I don't give a fuck how many women get upset when they see this. Those are the type of guys and shit like that will kill you. Those guys and stuff like that will kill you. They will kill you dead. Trust me. I work with them every fucking day. Leave those type of guys alone. I know, understand, and make your little pussy wet and all that type of shit, but leave those guys alone. Fellas, if you dealing with a damn woman and she does the exact same shit, nigga, you better fucking run.
Stop with that toxic, I like crazy girls. If you don't do this, I ain't want you.
Yeah, don't do that shit, man. Run. Them type of people that will kill you. Those are the type of people that will kill you and destroy everything that you fucking work so hard and diligently for. It may be fun. It may be exciting.
Also, if you hear them say, I want to get you pregnant, you should take that as verbal assault. You really not even stuff like that. You should definitely take that as verbal assault.
I want a nut and I want to get you pregnant. That's never gonna happen.
I had that happen. One of my exes legit told me, he said, I'll get you pregnant on purpose just so I could keep you in my life for another 18 years. I said, yep, and we ain't having sex no more.
I done heard that so many times, and I'm telling you, stay away from people that say that junk.
Yeah, that's great.
And then they'll switch up on you. You get pregnant, and then you nigga, he ain't showing up. He done told you all that and you believed it. You thought that he liked you. Stop thinking that people that say stuff like that to y'all like y'all. No, they don't. They want to control you. It's usually always a situation where they want access to you. It's not necessarily they want you. They want access to you for whatever reason.
If y'all learn nothing else, to all the viewers, Boonie said that she has the sexual attraction to make a man do jumping jacks and cry in the rain and shit. You out of your fucking mind if you don't think there are other people who will use that shit for evil. Like I'm telling y'all, man, like prison and shit like that has changed my mind and views about a lot of stuff. And I thank God every day that I'm able to work in this career field for the simple fact that it's made me more self-aware of my surroundings and my interactions with people every day. When I hear women talking to me now, I don't even talk. I just let them talk and listen because she's gonna fuck the conversation.
Right.
So, like I'm telling y'all, man, like, yeah, like people use sex as a weapon. They use it as a weapon, especially if they know they're fucking good at it.
Yeah.
They do.
We say actions speak louder than words, but please listen to the words too.
Yeah.
Because they can be contradicting. Somebody can be verbally abusive but do the nicest shit for you, or don't do shit for you but are giving you sweet nothings. Just please trust in yourself more than you trust in that other person.
Yeah, you gotta use discernment.
We've gotten to a point in our life, and I'm talking about our fucking community, I'm talking about Black people, that we think trauma equals love.
Or possession or control equals love. And honestly, that's because of the way we were raised. Like your parents controlled you. They treated you like you were a possession piece on the chessboard sometimes, like when they were playing against each other, your mom and dad, in certain situations. And a lot of people internalize that and they think that that's love because that's how their parents were.
That toxicity has no fucking limit, no damn time stamp, nothing. Like that shit can go from generation to generation, and it's up to you to identify it, recognize it, and get the fuck away from it.
I promise you, it's a disappointing thing when you finally learn what love is. Because I'm 30 and I just learned what it is this past year, what love really is. Like
Guess what? Hey,
the
Damien,
true definition. And it was like, God, I'm like, damn, ain't none of this shit been love.
hey,
So now that I learned, I try to get like do what y'all say. And what people try to tell you all along. If you really love somebody, you will let them go. You hear all that fairy tale shit, you be like, what? But
No,
that's the truth,
people
man.
people
That's the
think,
truth.
oh, if you love
That's
me,
the
you
truth.
shouldn't let me go. If you let me go, you didn't love me, nigga.
Nah, but the truth is, you can't control people, and you got to hope. All you can do is hope for the best and do your best.
one
All
thing
of us here 30, right? Or at least above 30, 30 and above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
All
person
right,
that's young
so
was Nadia, but she ain't on.
okay, so just advice for those that are younger than 30. Use your 20s to have fun. Don't commit to no serious shit unless it's a business, Like if it's getting your money up, helping improve your life, awesome. But when it comes to other people, don't do that shit. Have your fun.
have your fun, have to the people in the 20s.
Responsibly.
Have your fun. Have your fun. Nothing wrong with having your fun, but be very mindful of what type of fun you having.
Yeah.
Be very mindful of what type of fun you having, because the wrong type of fun can equal a lifetime of fucking pain.
And fun don't necessarily got to be what the media portrays as fun, getting drunk, getting high, going out, having sex with multiple people, doing all this stuff. That's not necessarily what fun is. And a lot of times when you chase that, there is something inside you that's missing. You're chasing a feeling a lot of the times, and you think, and it gives you a rush and you like how it feels. But when you're in situations like that, that's the time when you need to separate yourself and go within yourself the most.
Yeah, let's be real though. We done seen our little nieces and nephews and cousins in relationships, and you try to tell them, girl, you ain't gonna be feeling him in 5 years. You can't tell them that.
They be thinking they in love. Like
that.
you really just they just gotta learn. They do. They think.
But you know what? It was so funny that since Damien said that, it's like when you identify something and you can see some shit not working out, you can tell that person, but they will go out of their way to prove everybody wrong, but only end up to proving them right.
But a lot of the times you just don't. Some people you can tell stuff. Some people you can't. You just have to know. Some people gotta learn on their own. Unfortunately, like
the thing that one of the things that I've learned and I've stressed to anybody who's willing to listen to me is this: yes, you've identified and learned on your own, but don't bring that shit to anybody else. You like love, like Damien was talking about love earlier. Love is loving yourself first. Once you love yourself, then you can properly love somebody else. But before you love yourself and know yourself first, you can't love nobody.
People don't know what love is.
Also, love is not a feeling. This feeling that y'all be chasing, the butterflies, the rush, your heart rate speeding up in certain situations, your adrenaline pumping. That's not necessarily love. Like that's your
part of being a human.
The chemicals in your body reacting to certain things that you're doing. That's
endorphins. Them your fucking endorphins.
Exactly. Your serotonin,
like you say,
the oxytocin,
the
the
stuff
dopamine
that shape your mind to like a certain type of thing.
Exactly. That's why it's important to know your body. It's just your body reacting to certain things that you're doing. Love is an action. It's not a feeling that, and y'all chase it a lot. It's an action. It's deciding, being devoted to a person, deciding that through thick and thin, you're gonna show up for them. And of course, to an extent, because you have to have your boundaries and know when that situation isn't healthy for neither of you. Because a toxic situation or an abusive situation isn't only affecting the person, the victim, it affects the person that's also doing it too. And if you can't love yourself enough to get out of that situation, love that person enough or care about that person enough to separate from them, because it takes two to make that situation what it is.
Right. And then another thing too, people will allow things to happen to you that you don't check. Let's be real.
Right.
Like if you don't speak up for yourself because you don't love yourself, that person will manipulate the fuck out of you and control you. Like
you'll be an easy target.
More than just an easy target, you'll be a fucking victim whining about being a victim, but have no fucking type of rush or no type of care to get out of that situation. Like I know some women who are just as young as us, look like they're in the goddamn 50s.
Letting their life age them, going through all that stuff.
I know dudes and shit like that our age in their damn 50s. I'm like, damn dog, like you alright?
Van got cut off somehow, but if she come back, I'll add her back. She ain't texting nothing yet, so. But
She probably
we go probably not. We gonna keep going, but if she come back, then I add her back. I don't know what happened, but
and then they're having a conversation in the room with herself right now.
We gonna go to the next segment. For the wealthy health segment, I would like each of you to give advice on something that you feel promotes healthy sex.
Well, for me, growing up, it was a Canadian woman that used to come on Lifetime Network. Her name was Sue, and she used to have this thing called Talk Sex with Sue. I think her website is still available. Anything that you want to know about anything with sex, damn it, go watch Talk Sex with Sue. I don't know if she's still alive or not, but damn, I used to love watching that lady show. Because we used to talk about it when I saw her in middle school. Me and my homegirl used to talk about, hey, Brent, you watched Talk Sex with Sue last night? Hell yeah. And she was like, "What you learn?" I'm like, "Yo, I ain't know about them little white things on my wee wee or whatever. I ain't know them shit. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to be there." like she was just more than this. She was more than just a sex expert. Like
I used to watch her too.
Yeah, she knew the male anatomy and the female anatomy. One girl called up to the show and said, "Yeah, when I have sex with my boyfriend, I just have this real thick, creamy this." She said, "No, sweetheart, that's a yeast infection."
I mean, it could be a yeast infection, but also it could be ejaculation.
That too, but she said if it's thick like that,
but they kind of look the same.
She was in there talking to herself. She was now saying she had technical difficulties. I bet she's like, why the fuck am I talking to myself right now?
No, my stuff had completely logged me out.
Oh yeah.
But that's my recommendation, y'all. Go do some research on the OG triple OG Sue. Talk Sex with Sue.
And my recommendation is to challenge your sexual urges. Whenever you have feelings that you want to have sex, when you're craving sex, before you go and have sex with somebody else, give yourself an assessment to figure out if you're having these feelings, because a lot of times we have these feelings because we're lacking connection a lot of the times, and intimacy. That's a lot of times what you're craving, but you write it off as sex a lot of the times. It's not that, or it's not that you need to have sex when you're having those feelings. Sometimes you're craving intimacy, you're craving connection, because we're humans and God created us to connect with each other, and sometimes that's what it is. Or it could be something else, but like before you go and have sex with somebody, just assess yourself and try to figure out if there's anything missing in your life, and that's in all areas: your career, your environment, your health, your mental health, your emotional health, all of those things. Just take some time out, do some meditation, read something about spirit and your sexual desires and sexual urges. Go online and do some research about it. Educate yourself before going out there and acting on those urges, because you get yourself in a lot of trouble sometimes and you haven't even solved the problem that you had, or what was going on inside of you, and you keep having those cravings and you keep doing it and you're not solving the issue.
And do not get peer pressure into sex for validation, and for damn sure don't try to have sex for attention, because you already setting yourself up for a disaster. Do not do that shit at all.
Peer pressure is a beast, because I used to look at y'all getting pressure to do stuff and I used to be like, couldn't be me.
My recommendation would be to try to lock in with one person. Like as you grow in levels of understanding and urges and stuff like that, try to lock in with one person and get comfortable with them and ask each other questions. And if stuff you want to try stuff with, have one person you can try stuff with.
I think that's actually more practical, Damien, too, because a lot of people aren't going to practice abstinence. So what you said is more practical for for people, and I agree with you. I do. If you're somebody that has to and you don't really know how to control it, you don't have the self-control, the self-discipline, but make sure when you enter that situation, you tell this person your intentions, what you're seeking, what you want out of that situation, and make sure that there's a mutual agreement before you go further with that situation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, have that communication with each other, like bond with each other, talk with each other,
Right.
and then talk about the urges, talk about what's going on, because it's somebody out there that's a counterpart to what you feeling, a female counterpart to what you feeling, especially in the age groups, especially being that females have a quicker growth rate than us, or they are developed quicker than us,
And I'm gonna say this, even though I wasn't sexually attracted to my twin flame at first. When we became adults, I did, but I feel like the twin flame, if you can recognize a person as your twin flame, like we said on the first episode I feel like your twin flames are people that you can go to recharge. Sometimes it depends on the type of person that they are. They get you on a level that nobody else does. And also your friends, you can rely on your friends to help you. I talk to Van a lot. Like whenever I'm having issues, moments when I feel like I want some attention or whatever, I talk to her. I don't want, because I am one of those people who are not going to drag men along, and like when I want attention, I'm giving you attention, I'm showing you this energy or whatever, and then after, because I know how I am, because I'll be in the heat of the moment and I'll be saying all type of stuff, and you think I love you and you think all this stuff, and then after a while when I'm out of them feelings, I don't feel like that about you no more. So I talk to her whenever I'm in those situations. I ain't gonna say it's perfect, because sometimes I do have people, men that I can go to release, not necessarily physically. And I'm gonna be real, I'm lucky to have somebody who, even though we would never be together, we don't have no feelings for each other, I'm lucky to have somebody who allows me to release on them, even though they know we probably not gonna have sex.
Exactly. It's good to have people like that, for real.
Right.
I gotta ask.
Those same dudes that be hitting you up at 12 a.m. What you doing? Y'all need to start communicating with them. Y'all need to start asking, if you can hit me, you feel comfortable hitting me up like that, I should be able to come to you when I need to release too, and not always sexually.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about in the first episode. Motherfuckers don't know how to have a conversation other than what you doing.
That's true. That's true. But y'all gotta get out of there. Like, the worst that can happen is that they don't give you the same energy that you give them, and if they don't, move on. Like, stop trying to make somebody return your feelings, reciprocate your feelings. If they don't want to, stop pushing it and move on. It's gonna be people out there that wants to reciprocate your feelings.
Not only reciprocate your feelings and stuff like that, they come out of nowhere.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even be expecting it.
Like they come out of nowhere and they just make you feel as if, like, damn, where have you been all my life? How dare you make me wait this long to find you? So, it is what it is. Everybody, we still trying to figure out life and what it is that we want to do as far as that aspect of our life. But for the most part, love yourself before you can love anybody else. If you're one of these people that gotta have sex and you got to have it, okay, whatever, protect yourself. Know your body. Go get tested. Because it's not one of the things I tell all the girls and shit like that who like dating the dudes fresh out of prison, fresh out of jail, whatever. If that joker buck on your ass, if you ask him for to go get tested or something like that, bitch, you better run. You better run. Because if he
almost 99% of them men gonna give you some pushback, because that's insulting. Like, they coming out of jail, that means that you're assuming that they have sex with somebody, and I understand why they will act like that, but at the same time, don't mean don't ask. Still do it, but I also get why they react the way that they react.
Shit, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I never thought like that. But you know who told me that? An inmate.
Yeah.
An inmate doing 30 years, getting ready to go home. His wife asked him, for an STD test or whatever. And he said I was happy when she asked me that, so I could show her that I ain't enough to know stuff when I was in there. I'm proud to go get mine. He said, hell, I'm trying to go get one right now. So, it varies and stuff like that. But if you're dealing with somebody, whether male or female or whatever, and they don't want to go get tested, you better run.
Yeah, that's probably signs that either they think they got something and they scared to go get tested, or that's the only excuse I can think about.
Oh no, either that or they know they have something.
Yeah, or they know. Yeah, that's true. Van, do you have any advice to give somebody to promote healthy sex?
Just basically, y'all said everything. Basically, just communication should be the basic minimum. Of course, there's a way to communicate, but you just got to know your person or know the person that you're talking to, and just let them know however you feeling. But y'all said everything that I'm thinking.
Okay, now you said there's a way to communicate. How do you communicate? Because I just bust out, get straight to the point. Hey, look, let's go get tested right now.
Yeah, and see a person like me, or hell, I'm sure everybody here is fine with that. But some people, I don't understand it personally, but would feel offended or feel like that's too forward or that's aggressive, blah 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 blah. That's why I said know your person, or if y'all just meet, then you can let it out then.
It's also forward to ask me to have sex with you and you don't know me.
Exactly. As soon as we start talking, that's when they come up.
Right. But you got some people that's okay with it. That's why I say you gotta just know your person. But if y'all just meeting or whatever, then obviously go at it however you need to go at it. But other than that, just communicate whatever your needs are, whatever it is that you want, what you're looking for, what you need. Like with Boonie, she says she meets somebody and she know that they want to have sex with her, and she tell them straight up, you need to get tested before you even meet me. You need to get tested, and they don't want to do that. That saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Not only does it save a lot of time, but it possibly can save her fucking life.
I have to do that, but at the same time, everybody should do that.
Yeah.
And you got some people who feel like, well, damn, I ain't even get to know you. How you know I even want to have sex with you? Da 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 da. That's why I said it just goes back to what I said in the beginning. Know your person, or if y'all just met, let it out right then and there.
By the time I say that, though, we've already talked for a while, because ain't nobody about to come up to me and be like, let's have sex. It's you.
They come out.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Some people do that. They hey, you want to smash, or what they say now, you want to link up.
Yeah, I've had the let's chill.
Soon as we start,
not let's chill, let's link. We all.
But that's what I'm saying. I've never experienced somebody coming to me and be like, let's have sex right off the bat.
Yeah, what's them? What's the
I never get that.
The damn apps they use now, like just for hooking up, and that's how they start their conversations.
Yeah,
man, that shit with the age group, man. Like it's the age group, because like once you 17 in high school and we get the car, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to come pick you up, and you come chill with me. And more than likely we probably could have this a good.
And that's why I say that. And
then
that's why I say that, because it'll be just like a simple let's chill, and a lot of the times it turns into sex. That's why I require that.
Yeah, but I never get let's chill, let's hang out, let's go someplace.
It depends on the relationship.
Exactly. That's why I said know your person, because I've had situations where it's let's chill, and let's chill means fucking let's chill, and that's it. I've had where it's like, are we having sex today? Probably. I don't know yet. Probably. All right, it's in the air. We know it's a possibility. And then you got where it's like, yeah, we finna, as soon as you pick me up, this is what we finna go do. So it's about those individuals. As I say, know your person.
Yeah. Also, people kind of like know how to approach you too, by like, especially on social media, they kind of judge you by the stuff that you post, the stuff that you talk about, and stuff like that on social media. Because I remember having a conversation with Van, and I was telling her that I forgot exactly what we were saying, but I was saying how like people don't approach me a certain type of way, or how do they know this, or not, how do they know certain things, or why don't they do certain things? And she like, because you don't put stuff online where people can get to know you. Like, you don't be talking about who you are, your sexuality, what you're attracted to, whatever. So people don't really know how to approach you. That's probably why they don't at the same time. But I'm an easily approachable person. You can just come, you can ask me what you're doing that first time, but you're gonna need to know some other conversation started, some other questions. I'm gonna respond back to every single person that gets in my inbox. The only way I'm not gonna respond to you if you somebody that keeps coming back and you annoying, basically. Or if I know the type of person you are, I'm not gonna respond. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna respond to everybody that inbox me. And it's up to you whether we have a conversation.
Same. I respond to everybody that inboxes me unless it's obvious that you've inboxed me before and we had a conversation and I dated it and I'm not responding to you no more. Other than that, new people, I respond to every message.
Well,
Okay.
I feel sorry for Boonie because it could be a nigga in the inbox tonight. Hey, girl, I got tested. What's up?
Nothing, because I don't know you.
I'm just
Right.
saying. I'm just saying that'll be funny as fuck. Though.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say too.
Hey,
Nothing.
that'll be a good conversation to have later too, Boonie. How to meet people these days? Like, what's the best way to meet
To
people?
approach people. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna skip the what would you do because we don't have questions again. So we're gonna go to the Black Life segment. And instead of saying one thing that you are afraid of this time, since we're going into the new year, I want each person to tell me something that let us know one of your goals. I ain't gonna say New Year's resolution or what you manifested because it's not time to do that yet, but just let us know what season you feel like you're stepping into going into the new year.
I'll kick
A
it off.
season of learning.
Nope, go ahead, Van. Van spoke first. Go ahead, Van. Ladies first.
A season of learning. I don't have any goals, any resolutions because I am consistently inconsistent. So setting goals just does not work for me. Like that shit just does not work at all. So I'm just going with the flow, hoping for the best. Therapy has been helping a lot, and I'm just hoping to come out better than when I started. So I guess that's the goal. Just come out better than when I started.
Go ahead, Brent.
Nah, I'll go ahead and let you go, Boonie.
Women first. I feel like I'm stepping into a season of I don't really know how to describe it, but basically me sharing more of myself with the world, basically me honing my talents, stepping into all of the things that I'm good at and showing everybody what I can do, whatever, basically to just step more into the role that I'm trying to be in as far as my career. Put myself out there, like go to casting calls for acting, for modeling, maybe do some music because that's something that I haven't done since I was young. Keep creating and doing more and showing people all the things that I'm good at, basically. So I feel like I'm stepping into the season of opportunity because I feel like big things are going to happen for me.
I feel like I'm in a season coming in a season of like movement as in like migration, movement like as in like moving to another place than where I am. I feel like I'm about to like change locations.
Same. Okay, Brent.
Really, for me, for 2023, the number one thing that I said I was gonna focus on above any and everything else is my health. Like I said, 2023, I'm not going to be in anyone's hospital and stuff for that this year. I'm focusing on my health, and fortunately, I was able to move to a city where it's more access to knowledge about health and wellness, especially from a holistic standpoint. So I'm very happy and stuff for that I'm in a city like that now. The second thing I said I was going to focus on was my wealth. And what I mean by wealth, be more financially disciplined. I got my budget stuff. I got my accountant this year. Like I'm just focusing on that aspect. The third thing I said that I was gonna focus on were my projects. You know, I like to I too also, you know, write, create, and do other things. And I said that I was going to put a lot more focus and emphasis into that because I like doing I like filming and I love doing documentaries and stuff like that. So, you know, I was going to focus on that. And the last thing I said that I was going to learn was Spanish. I want to learn Spanish. And the reason why I want to learn Spanish is because I want to be able to when I travel, I want to be able to speak different languages with people who are native to that particular country. And I also have several other languages I want to learn. Being Swahili is one of them and Yoruba is the other one. So, you know, I'm very
Japanese.
excited. Yep. I'm very excited for 2023. And I know I'm gonna blow the fucking hinges off of it. And I just can't wait to embark on this new journey. I'm in a new city. And you know, I love where my career is going, and I have no complaints. You know, let's go. 2023 is it for me.
Well, I hope that all of you reach those goals. And of course, we got a community, we got an ecosystem. So with everything that we got coming up, working on, we can get with each other and ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask each other for help for things and stuff like that, because you can't do everything alone. That's another thing that I am learning as I step into the new year. But thank you guys for another amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your perspectives with me. And I hope that everybody enjoyed this video. I hope that we taught you a lot of things and we opened your eyes and you take a lot from what we said. And come 2023, you'll see more of us. We're going to be consistent. We're going to keep these conversations going because it's imperative for our community to have conversations like these. Also, I want to say we did get kind of a review from somebody. I'm not going to put them out there and I'm not going to say exactly what they said, but I'm going to say this. Our podcast was not created for us to challenge each other and go back and forth and prove who's right and who's superior between men and women. That's not what we're going to do. We see that that's how everybody else's platforms are. Every advice that we give, everything that we say, and the things that we talk about to each other is with love and with good intentions. Like, we really want to see each other improve and we really want to see our community improve. So we're never going to go back and forth. Like, me and Brent may go back and forth with each other, but trust, there's no bad blood. There's no like malicious intent or nothing like that. That's kind of how we communicate with each other sometimes, but
That's our
there's
love
never
language.
basically there's never no like smoke behind it. We don't hate each other. So we're
Oh.
not a podcast that's going to do that. It's not a competition between men and women and who can be more right and all of this stuff. So if you're looking for that, this is not the place where you're going to find it. Either enjoy the content and keep it moving or not. And that's it. But thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.